Hari Om, Om Shanti. Greetings to all the spiritual seekers in today's divine film production. We're going to cover a few shlokas wherein Lord Krishna's opulence, his vibhuti, is shown through 4 to 5 shlokas of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And also, I would like to point out the pride of the demigod Indra, the king of all demigods and goddesses. In this cosmos, in this universe, in the multi-universes, as you know, Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu is the one who rescues and helps Lord Indra as and when he gets defeated by demons to re-establish his rule over the demigods and goddesses. Lord Vishnu has done many a times through many incarnations. So we are going to cover the vibhuti of Lord Krishna and the vanquishing of Indra's pride in a few of the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. Om Shanti. Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Govindaya Namaha. Govardhanaya Namaha. Om Rishikeshaya Namaha. Om Gopalaya Namaha. Om Krishnaven Namaha. Om Vishnuven Namaha. Om Shankaraya Namaha. Om Rishikeshaya Namaha. Om Damodaraya Namaha. So, with this, let's get to the actual topic of today's divine production, being explaining some of Lord Krishna's opulences, the vibhutis, the richness, the sumptuousness, and how he vanquishes the pride of the demigod Indra. So, before we talk about the opulence of Lord Krishna and vanquishing Indra's pride, false pride, let's a little bit talk about the creation of Srishti. The creation of the cosmos happened, according to the scientists, in the modern age, due to the Big Bang. A pea-sized material expanded due to Big Bang and resulted in the manifestations of things that we see, including galaxies, planets, all the revolving bodies, mobile, immobile things, beings in this cosmos. But according to Vedas, according to Lord Krishna, according to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, according to Upanishads, It's a false notion that everything came out of the Big Bang, the so-called Big Bang explosion and expansion and coming together of various bodies that we see with our naked eye or through telescopes, etc. But as per Bhagavad Gita and Lord Krishna, everything that is manifested is created. It's the manifestation of Lord Krishna. It is his utterance of the monosyllable Om. That's the true Big Bang. That sound that created by Lord Krishna is responsible for manifesting anything and everything that we are able to see in this universe and in the multi universes, you name them. You see, every day, you see the sun, you see the moon, and you think they are self illuminatory, but they are not so. They are illuminated, they are powered by Lord Krishna, that Paramatman, that Bhagavan, that absolute God. He is the one root cause of all the manifestations, all the illumination with which our sun of our universe illuminates everything, all the planets, and who revolves around the galaxies. And the galaxies revolve around the black holes. And the planets revolve around the sun. You see, the sun sends energy that is equivalent to millions of nuclear reactors, which produce that much of light energy. It's humongous quantity of energy. The sun actually creates 600 million tons of helium per second, and only 4 million tons per second come to our planet and other planets. That's the one that energy escapes from him in the form of sun rays to give warmth and to produce what all the plants produce on this planet for sustenance of our lives on this planet, and to purify the earth with the sun's rays, the UV active rays, detrimental to the harmful creatures on this planet. The sun produces food for us and also kills unwanted things so that they do not do any harm to us. It's so wonderful. And the moon, you see the moon in the night time also is not self-illuminating. He is not reflecting the energy, the light from the sun. Both are powered by Lord Krishna. And both of them are his eyes, very eyes, right and left, the sun and the moon respectively. And the moon, what does it do? It illumines the night sky better than the stars that are far away. And he goes through cycles. Every 15 days, he becomes a full moon and he becomes a crescent. And then one day of the month, you cannot even see him. And one day of the month is fully bloomed. It's all because of the Lord's vibhuti, and they are illumined by him, by his energy. And let's see. What Bhagavad Gita says about these things as they exist, and how we talked about this. Lord Krishna teaches a lesson to Indra, vanquishes his pride as he gets buoyancy. And Lord Indra, the demigod, Lord Indra thinks that he's loading over all the demigods and goddesses in this universe due to his own ability. That's false. He gets carried away, that nobody is superior to him. Many times, Lord Vishnu teaches him a lesson. And in this divine production, let's learn a little bit about how the demigod, the king of all the demigods and goddesses, gets a lesson from Lord Krishna. Okay, so in one of his shlokas, Lord Krishna mentions in Gita that he is that weapon amongst all the weapons. His opulence is that Vajra, that thunderbolt weapon used by Indra to defeat demons. Indra could defeat a great demon by name Vritrasura by using a thunderbolt made out of the bones of a sage who sacrificed his life. Dadichi was the sage's name, and he was the one who sacrificed his bones to make a powerful weapon that stands the best weapon among all the weapons. And Lord Krishna says he is that. Okay, let's see how this shlok goes. Ayudhanamasmi Ayudhanamaham Vajram Ayudhanamaham Vajram Dhenu Namasmi Kamadhuk Dhenu Namasmi Kamadhuk Prajnaschasmi Kandarpaha Prajnaschasmi Kandarpaha Sarpanamasmi Vasukihi Sarpanamasmi Vasukihi Of all the weapons, I am that Vibhuti, that divine weapon, Vajra, that thunderbolt. That's me. It's not Indra. Of all the cows, I am that. Surabhi, the divine cow, the cow which is the mother of all cows, the wish fulfilling cow. Wherever this cow resided, it served that sage and fulfilled all the wishes, provided what all the sage needed, and whoever visited the sage. Inexhaustible things this Surabhi provides all the time. And of the attractive force between men and women after the marriage, I am that physical attraction to be in union with one another, man and women, in a relationship of wife and husband. I am that attractive force, that love. I am that. In order to get progeny, the able sons and daughters, and the parents who turned them into my devotees, I am that. And whoever misuses that attractive force for sensual enjoyment, it's not my vibhuti, it is not my attractive force, and it is against the Vedic injunctions. It is prohibited, rather. Whoever gets involved in such sensual enjoyment will revolve in the unending cycle of rebirth and redeath. That's it. Sarpanamasmi vasukihi. And amongst all the poisonous divine snakes, I am that Vibhuti, that Vasuki, who was used to churn the Mandara mountain when the demigods and the demons churned the Milky Ocean to get the wealth back out of the Milky Ocean in order for Indra to reclaim his heaven to rule over all the demigods and goddesses. Prajnaschasmi kandarpaha. What does it mean? In order to procreate, get that progeny, the next generation, to have the planets populated. I am that God of love. Kandarpa does mean the God of love. Mm, mm, mm. Yadadityagatam tejo jagadvasa yatekhilam. Yadadityagatam tejo jagadbhasayatekhilam. Yachandramasi yachagnav तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् यच्चन्द्रमसि यत्तेजो यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् आ, आ, one needs to know the illumination of the sun and the reflection of illumination in the moon and the radiance in the fire and the warmth. It's me. I have powered them to illuminate everything, to give warmth, to to give that radiance from the fire. It's all my energy. It's all my vibhuti. Everyone must know this fact. And you see how Indra, the king of all the demigods, got a lesson from Lord Vishnu is that once there was a war between the demigods and the demons, and Indra actually he was replete with buoyancy of his pride, and he thought that he was the one he defeated the demons and lording over all the demigods and goddesses responsible for administering the world to us under the dominion of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva, one and the same, everyone, different names, different forms, different shapes, different abodes, just like human beings. We are all one when we talk in terms of Atma. So are gods, the real gods, not the demigods like Indra, all the way up to Brahma, who is responsible for creating everything in the world again under the direction, under the dominion of Lord Krishna. And you see, when Indra was buoyant with his pride, Lord Vishnu wanted to teach a lesson to him to vanquish his pride, false pride. So he disguises himself as a Yaksha Gandharva Brahman with great effulgence. And then Indra comes to know about this individual Brahman, Yaksha Brahman, and he sends the fire god, the Agni Dev, to find out who this guy is, who this Yaksha Gandharva is. Agni Dev, the fire of God, comes to the Yaksha Brahman, Lord Vishnu, and asks him again with great pride, who are you? We have never seen you here in this region, and you cannot be so effulgent. Are you a ordinary demigod, or are you a human being? Who are you? You must reveal your identity. Otherwise, I'm going to burn you into ash. Then Lord Vishnu, in his Yaksha Gandharva Brahman form, he places a blade of grass, a hay, a dry piece of grass, and challenges the fire god to burn it. As he gets ready, the fire god, he could not burn that mere blade of grass into ash. Instead, he turned himself into a ball of snow and he rolled. And in his true form again, he approached the demigod, the king of all the demigods, Indra, and told him what happened. Then Indra got enraged very angrily. He sends the Vayudev, the god of wind, sends him there to find out who this Yaksha Brahmana was. And then Vayudev comes to this Yaksha Brahmana and inquires about him. Says, "Who are you? We have never seen you." Then Yaksha Brahmana challenges him to move that blade of grass, that hay, as the Vayudev threatens him that he would blow him off within no time. But in the end, Vayudev could not do anything. He just collapsed and went back to Indra to reveal the story. After hearing this, Indra himself comes to the Yaksha Brahman, Gandharva, to find out who the guy was. In his place, Indra finds his Yogamaya Shakti in the form of Uma Devi. Uma Devi says to him, "It's too late. You're full of pride, false pride, that Yaksha Brahmana was your father, your mother, the Lord of the cosmos." Then Lord Indra, the demigod, realizes his fault, his false pride, and goes back to heaven to rule, to lord over the other demigods properly. But again, it becomes actually a temporary realization for Indra. As you know, Indra was always in trouble and he was subject to a number of curses. That's a topic for future divine productions. No one is spared in this universe and in the multi-universes. Everyone is subject to rebirth and death and changing of positions, all the way up to Brahma, who is responsible for creation of this world under the dominion of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, or Lord Shiva. Let's see what Lord Krishna says through this stanza in Bhagavad Gita. Brahma bhuvana lokaha, Brahma bhuvana lokaha, punaravartino Arjuna, punaravartino Arjuna, mamupetya tu kaunteya, mamupetya tu kaunteya, punarjanmana vidyate, mamupetya tu kaunteya, punarjanmana vidyate. no one is spared. In all the 14 lokas, all the way up to Brahmalok, where Brahma resides. And then that position gets changed by the Lord every 311 trillion 40 billion years. This is the lifetime of a Brahma in a Mahakalpa. That many human years have to elapse before the Lord manifests everything from nothing again. That many years, the whole cosmos would be under dormancy. He keeps everything in his own divine body. Everything is silent. Imagine that. So no one can escape the laws written by Lord Krishna. Everyone has to undergo rebirth and redeath until such time where one can realize oneself and realize the God and get that ultimate, ultimate liberation, that moksha, that nirvana. Once you go there, when you sever the bonds of sansar, in that abode, you will serve at the lotus feet of the Lord, experiencing true peace and bliss, and you will never return to the earthly plane or any other existence whatsoever in this cosmos, in this universe, in these multi universes. This is what you got to know. न तद्भासयतो सूर्यो न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम What does this mean? You see, people might be under the false impression that my abode is illuminated by the sun, or the moon, or Pavaka, that fire. But you see, all these three, no one is illuminating my abode. I am self-illuminating. Everything is illuminated by my power. In the cosmos, no sun, no moon, and no fire, they are not responsible for my illumination. You see, that Mahabharata, the great effulgence, it's me. Once you reach that plane of divine existence, my residence, right in your Sahasrara chakra, just a few inches above your Agna chakra, your Bhrukuti. That's the illumination. Once you reach, you will not go back to the earthly plane. You will be residing at the supreme abode of mind. Mm, 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 mm. Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishno Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha Tatra Shri Tatra Shri Vijayodbhutihi Dhruvaniti Matirmama Dhruvaniti Matirmama Ah, ah, ah. We have been uttering this shlok in every which filming of divine topics of Bhagavad Gita, which reveals us the fact, the opinion expressed by Sanjaya at the end of narration of Bhagavad Gita, as he saw, as he witnessed with his own divine eyes provided by Vyas when he was narrating to King Dhritarashtra. This is the shlok that Sanjaya utters at the end of Bhagavad Gita, at the end of the war, rather, end of the Bhagavad Gita, as he becomes ecstatic. What all he saw in his cosmic form, Lord Krishna's cosmic form. He says that, he expresses rather his opinion as the following: wherever you find a spiritual master, the Godhead, the mystique, Lord Krishna, and wherever you find the ambidextrous archer, Arjun, you can find abundant opulence, wealth, that Shri, power, victory, and moral values in every walk of life. And you can experience equity in the fields of social, political, and economic spheres. It is the opinion of Sanjaya, and it must be the opinion of all of us. So, Lord Krishna always wanted every one of us to be his devotees, surrendering everything to him, dedicate everything to him, become his true devotee, acquire his qualities, and be with him, experiencing the true peace and bliss. I hope in this divine production involving Bhagavad Gita shlokas, you learned some wisdom, and I hope that you can apply to your day to day life for you to elevate your soul, your true self, and get through this samsaric life and never come back to this earthly plane. There are many advantages. We will not go through the miseries of samsara, this bhavasaga. Rather, we will become dedicated to the Bhagavad Gita. We dedicate everything to Lord Krishna and serve at his lotus feet. How wonderful it would be if you could achieve that very goal. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Swasti, with another divine production in the days to come. Mm, mm,